Today is the Saturday Stamping Collab, and the theme is bunny nail art. I thought that would be fun for Easter. Joining us this week is Never Naked Nails, Girly Nails 66. This is my design. Now I'll show you how I created it. Let's get started. The colored polishes I'll be using today are by Bases Loaded Lacquer, and they were part of a pre-order. The pre-order is now closed, but just check her Facebook site or her website and you should find out information if these come back into stock, maybe later on in April or May. These are part of the Candy Coated Cheesecake collection, and this one is Uncle Fingerbinger and his 30-pound Rutabaga. They all have names that resonate with the Golden Girls. This one is To Feed the Cat, Rose. And this one is I Look Like the Mother of a Solid Gold Dancer. The base polish I'll be using on all of my fingers is actually a topper, and it is called Tiddlywinks. So if you know anything about Bases Loaded Lacquer, she hosts bingo every now and then. And these were called bingo toppers. So this one is Tiddlywinks. The base and top coat I use are by Maxus. The stamping polish I'll be using is Moira's Black. I do find this one actually works quite well on a number of different stamping plates. You know, unfortunately, if you're like new at stamping, you don't know this, it's good to have several different brands of stamping polish in black and white, because not all plates play nice with all stamping polishes, but I do find that this one works for the most part. These are my all-time favorites from Maniology to use every time I stamp. So we have the Ice Cube Stamper, which is super sticky. I really love this one. We have the Sticky Base Coat and the Smudge-Free Top Coat. The stamping plate I'll be using today is Maniology M189. I'll put it in the description, and I'm just going to use this Perfect Peep Easter image right here. I'm just going to use the bunnies, so I'm just going to take some tape and remove all of the other images that I don't want, and just leave the bunnies on here. Okay, so I have a few little bunnies here on the stamper. And here's some more bunnies. It's kind of tricky to get these vines out because they're actually literally touching the bunnies, and that's hard to get the whole image. But what I found is if you take your tape and you just kind of make it less sticky and then just use a corner, you can get pretty close to the, it's not as tacky, so it's not pulling up the polish right next to the bunny, if that makes any sense at all. It's not pulling away the whole bunny image. It's not sticky. Like that. Now I'm just going to color them in with a fine brush. The brush method did not work. I smeared his little face, and I'll tell you why. When you have to be really careful when you're using a brush if you didn't protect the stamped image first, because the wet polish on the dry polish could make the dry polish wet again and it could smear it. So that's what happened to his little face right here. So I'll show you a couple of different methods that work for this. The next thing I tried did work, so I took a dotting tool. Sometimes the brush works, sometimes it doesn't. But I just did a few other ones and the dotting tool was working, so I'm just kind of floating the nail polish over the bunny, especially his little face right here with the dotting tool. And I can use two different sizes, one to get on the inside of his ear and the other is a little bit bigger to fill in his body. So, oh, that one smeared his face too. The other ones I did not smear his face off. Well, there you go. So I'll show you a surefire way that won't smear his face off. So we'll work with this one right here. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my Maxus base coat, because the base coat stays flexible. The top coat will make it hard and stiff because it's, you know, a protective layer for your nail polish. But the base coat stays pliable. So what I do is I just put a little bit of base coat over the top, and that seals in the stamping, dries it up, seals it in, and then you can paint over the top and not have to worry about smearing your stamping. I did, when I placed, I did one of each before and it worked out just fine. So that, and then you just have to wait for that to dry, and then you can go ahead and paint over the top without worrying about smearing your stamping. I like to set up my stamped images before I paint my nails. That way they have, you know, enough time to dry and they'll be ready to use when my polish is dry. I'm now applying my base coat to all of my nails like I usually do. For the base color, I'm just going to use a couple of coats of Tiddlywinks just to give my nails some sparkle. I decided to use 3 coats of Tiddlywinks for my base coat. One thing I want to mention is I have no top coat on, and this is really smooth. It's not rough at all, so that's good. And I'm just going to figure out where I want to place these little bunnies. Oh, forgot. I'm not going to be placing them anywhere if I don't put on the Maniology sticky base coat. So I'm just going to put a coat of this on the nails that I want to add the stamped images to, and then I always wait a minute and a half, and that's usually the perfect amount of time. It's not too sticky, it's not too gooey, and the images will stick better. I'm just going to figure out where I want these little bunnies. My nails are kind of small. I think I'm just going to do my usual accent nails and leave it at that. And I'm just going to take the my corrector pen. I usually use that when there's a lot, like a big cleanup job. I'm just going to go around the edges and clean that up. Now I'm just going to put on the smudge-free top coat, and that's to protect the stamping against smearing. I use my Maxus Finito top coat to seal everything in and make it long lasting, but I do want to protect this from anything that might smear it. Now I'm just going to add my Finito top coat to all of my nails. Here is the finished manicure. It turned out exactly how I pictured. I love the pop of the Peeps bunnies over the sparkly base, and this is amazing in sunlight. I wasn't actually, I couldn't capture anything good in the sunlight, but if you like the look fit here, you would absolutely love it in sunlight. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.